Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be installing our propane tank. So we're off to a bit of a rough start, but we're not going to let that keep us down. I don't know if Jelaine realized it or not, but these ramps were not made for jumping.
We've determined that little black metal piece on the mount is in the way for us mounting the propane tank, so we're going to try to take a hammer to it. Not moving.
Couldn't bend it with a hammer, so got a jack in here, and this only needs to be bent slightly. That way we have enough clearance for the tank. Woo! That might be good enough. Finally got that little black piece bent, and we have the tank set in. It's not mounted yet, it's just janked up right now, but we'll leave it here, mark the holes out, drill everything, and then push it back up into position to bolt it in. Alright, we just moved the propane tank inside of the van. And what we're actually going to do is just lay the holes out in here. You can see this is where one of the holes came through, and this is where another one came up through. So Jelaine is on the other side marking the other side out, and then we'll just drill these down through the floor and run our bolts up to the bottom. And the reason we're doing it this way is the axle was in the way on the underside from marking that, so I'm sure those bolts will be extra fun to try and put in. Okay, we have all of our holes drilled, and we recess the top just so these guys can sit in there. I'll actually go in this way, but I'm showing you that so you get the picture. And these are just like 4-prong T-nuts. They have threads on the inside, and we'll run the bolts up from the bottom, and the bolts and these T-nuts will just sandwich the propane tank. Jelaine's down here torquing everything down. Show you guys what it looks like from the inside. All right, here's our T-nuts. Put some Loctite in there. Once Jelaine gets everything torqued down, we'll pretty well be done. So other than the spare tire holder, this little metal bracket that holds the brake line, we also had to slightly modify that and just bend it in a bit just to give it a little bit more clearance for the tank. Other than that, you're bolted in and good to go. Thanks so much for watching today's video. How do you guys like the new studio? We're actually just chilling in the van. I think the sound's actually probably a bit better in here. Our house is kind of like echoey, but time for today's tips, tricks, mistakes, and cost. So first off, as you can tell, we mounted the propane tank under the van, which if you're going to do it in this fashion, then you'll definitely need to buy a horizontal mount tank. Make sure when you're buying it that you can actually mount the tank horizontally, because there are plenty that you cannot. So that is absolutely important to do, and the first thing you should check out before you check out online or wherever you buy your tank.
Another thing don't run over the ramps. They're not made to do that whatsoever. I learned the hard way, but in my defense, it was the first time I've ever put a vehicle on ramps, and is the first time I've ever truly driven the van. I had a lot of things against me.
Jelaine was going full sin mode, just jumping the ramps.
I definitely like to party.
Yeah, she likes to party. It definitely made an interesting start to the day, but we got back on track pretty quickly, so it's easy to look back and laugh on now. And
another thing is also to make sure you have some sort of jack system to like help lift the tank up, because it's pretty heavy, completely empty. It was surprisingly heavy, so that really helped. We had some kind of janky stand and jack system, but definitely try to have something that you can help take that weight.
Even at some point we used some skateboards to roll it in and out. I don't know if that made the video or not, but we did use that, and it's super helpful to work on a concrete or asphalt type area if you have that ability. We went over to my parents' house because our driveway is gravel and we didn't really want to lay in gravel for a few hours. But overall it was a pretty easy process, and you just have to find a way to tie it into your floor system or mount it to like the frame rails, whatever works out best for you and your van and the space available up underneath. Really, where we put ours is about the only location that it would fit, so that's what worked for us.
The total cost of the propane tank and the hardware to mount it was $572.31.
Thanks so much for joining us in today's video. As always, hit the like, drop us a comment if you have any feedback or questions, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And we'll see you in the next one.